Why? Thank you, Reverend Wanda, for giving me the opportunity to speak today. But it's hard to follow that video, I have to tell you, so don't do them back to back again. That video wipes me out. It's so touching. I don't really need to say anything. You are light, right? Right, yes. Well, good morning. Welcome to Unity Fort Wayne, and if you are new here, I hope that you feel the love that's been pouring into this room for 50 years. And if you've been coming for a long time, I just love you. I'm glad you're here. Well, let's see, that's yours. I've been coming to Unity a long time. As a lot of you know, I started at Unity in 1987, probably before some of you were born. And I started taking classes at that time. And I just love Unity. I have to tell you that Unity, back then, we often used the word practical Christianity. This idea of practical Christianity has really been my North Star. It's how I have been able to navigate these, almost 50 years through life by using the 5 principles of unity and also the 12 powers of unity. So, if you're new here, welcome to our tribe. Yay. So when talking about practical Christianity, there are a few basics we usually review. And if you've attended any of my classes, just feel free to say the answer out loud, because I'm going to ask you a couple questions. What is Jesus' last name? Lois, you've been in class a lot. He didn't have a last name that we know of. It might have been, it might have been something like Jesus, the son of Joseph the carpenter. I heard someone say Christ, but that actually is not his last name. Or it might have been, as he got older, there's reference to him as the Nazarene, right, Michael? I'm glad you're here. You can fill in the blanks. Okay, so was Jesus a Christian? No, what was he? He was Jewish, yeah. He was a rabbi, right? Okay. And this is a fill in the blanks. We referred to Jesus of Nazareth as the master teacher. Yes, he's our master teacher. He gave a lot of examples of how to live your life. And they're recorded in the Bible. And lastly, I want to ask you, where did the master teacher say the kingdom of heaven is located? Thank you, Marge. Yes. Did he say that heaven is up here behind the clouds? Or if you are rich enough to have your own rocket ship, you can go up and find God up there? Or maybe it's in the center of the earth. You know, if you dig down, when we were kids, we'd say if you dig deep enough, you'll come out in China. Well, no. Unity and other New Thought churches have long time said that we use Jesus as our master teacher, and he did say that heaven is located within, and all around us. Now, there's more truths also. Charles Fillmore, who's our co-founder, said, We are 100% human and at the same time 100% divine. Now, I know Joni's a math. People that know math know that that's 200%. But that is one of the paradox or mysteries, that we can be both. It does equal who we are. We are divine, but we're also human. And knowing that we're human, we sometimes need tools or guidance. And the one that I often say, excuse me, those of you that attend the Sunday morning class, you've heard this many times. There's evidence that we are divine, and it's in the Bible. It's the first page. It's Genesis. And it says, God said, let us make man in our image after our likeness. So God created man in his own image, and in the image of God, he created male and female. Okay. Isn't that awesome news? Think about that. Really, think about that. You are made in the image and likeness of God. So why do you have any problems? Do you think God's got problems? Because we're also human, right? Yeah. But it's wonderful to remember that. In fact, if we are to live our life in its fullness, we could stay centered on that divine spirit that's in us and around us and in others and around us. And remembering that that divine spirit, God, if you will, is the source. All comes from the God mind, the divine mind. Here at Unity in Fort Wayne, we light the Christ candle every Sunday as a reminder of the source within. Lynn so easily lit it today. And did you catch that this is called the Christ candle? So in New Thought, Christ is referred to as that light within. That we saw that beautiful video. It's the light within, it's that source. Remember, you were made in the image and likeness of God, so that source is within you. And we remind you of that every Sunday. Now back to practical Christianity. One of the ways that it spoke to me, and it's simple. It's just simple metaphysics. Now, you know, that word like, oh no, you know, that's scary stuff. Really, metaphysics just means meta is the invisible, so it's inside you, and physics is what you see. So the physics is the outward manifestation. So Unity, in its form of practical Christianity, does use simple explanations of metaphysics. I mentioned our co-founder, Charles Fillmore. He says, metaphysically, it's expressed as ideas and feelings that move from our consciousness, from in you, to the outer world. So you are manifestors, right? Amen, Larry? Okay. Yes. And also in the Bible, there's some reference to this. And metaphysically, when you think about it, we get a lot of ideas all day long. I don't remember the number right at the moment, but it's thousands of ideas just come and go all day long. In Genesis, it refers to God, the source, creating fish. And metaphysically, ideas are represented by the fish are representing the ideas. So the ideas come and they just keep going. And then maybe another school of ideas come and go. Okay. And it also says we have domination over those ideas. And then it refers to, in Genesis, big ideas. And that's represented as in the creation story as large animals. So they're substantial. You might get a big idea, and it might be your heart motivating you to move on. And when we remember that meta is the non-visible, these non-visible ideas will appear in your consciousness, in your mind, and some are good, some aren't, and that's where we can use the 12 powers to kind of decipher that. But a lot of times when there's a manifestation, we want to check at our perception, because our perception can label things as good, bad, indifferent, and who cares, right? So it's always our perception of what we're looking at. Okay, I got another assignment for you. Wake you up a little bit here. Fill in the blanks. Now, this is a statement you often hear. Thoughts held in mind are produced after their kind. Right. What the heck does that mean? We say it all the time, right? Thoughts held in mind produce after their kind. Well, this is that practical approach of bringing energy from within you to manifest out there. So think about anything that you're dwelling on, that is what often appears. So there's an example that we often mention. You might want to buy a new car, and the car that you want to buy is, let's say, a teal color car. You want this colored car. Your mind might tell you, oh, they don't make that anymore. You're never going to find that. Or somebody might be saying that to you. And you could say, cancel, cancel. I know that the right car at the right color is going to appear. And all of a sudden, all you see is teal color cars, right? I mean, I know you've experienced this. That's examples of how our mind works. Okay. And you can also apply that to maybe you're holding a grudge from the past or fear of the future, and you get caught up in that feeling nature, and then your thoughts are there. Well, you could also say cancel, cancel to that, and bless maybe the person of the past or what you're worried about for the future. Our founder, Myrtle Fillmore, said, someone else cannot do that work for you. Well, think about that. If you want to get rid of that grudge, someone else can't do that for you. You will do that through maybe affirmations, maybe writing. There's a lot of tools that one can use for that. Myrtle Fillmore is an example of this. She was diagnosed with an illness, and she spent 2 years blessing every cell of her body, praising it, asking for forgiveness. And eventually, she was healed. And she used prayer, and she used affirmation. She moved beyond the victim to the victor. For us, when we focus on that inner Christ, our level of consciousness can move in the right directions. We can see and feel things rightly when we know that our true source is within. Right? Did I get an amen, Larry? All right. So the good news is we were given by the Creator faculties to keep us in balance as we go through life. These are the tools I was mentioning. These faculties, Charles Fillmore, identified as 12 points of power within. It's interesting that it was 12 because metaphysically 12 is a number that represents completion. You can help me here. I'm losing my voice. Name some 12s from the Bible. Steve, I know you know a couple. You mentioned them to me the other day. The 12 disciples, 12 tribes, 12 pillars. Anything else? Michael, my friend, you have any other 12s to add to that? Oh, okay. All right. 12 cursors? Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. So, we have 12 powers or capabilities within us. And anybody want to say what will is about? You saw a video on that. Lynn said there was going to be a quiz. Yeah. So will that we saw earlier. And every month, Wanda chooses for us a power to focus on, and we do see a video on it. So that's something that you can take in and know that that's a tool you can put in your toolbox to help you stay centered in the Christ. Today, I'm going to touch on just a few of them. The reason why I have found these very important is they demonstrate emotional wellness and wholeness to stay balanced. Now, it doesn't always mean physically I am well. I mean, I've never healed myself like Myrtle did, but I have had negative thoughts. Over 50 years of my career, I've probably been laid off 5 times and had mortgages and sell houses, all the stuff we do as we're going through life. Boyfriends, ex-husbands, I mean, lots of stuff, right? But when I find that perhaps I'm being self-critical or critical of others or unhappy, I'll think, what power could I use now? And a lot of the powers, if we use in the negative direction, will enhance the negative, and some will keep us balanced, and others, if we overdo them, we might be focused on something. So let's look at a few of these God-given powers. The first one I want to start off with that we often mention here is faith. Faith is defined as the ability to believe in the outer outcome before it's seen. Now, you all use that. You do. You might think, oh, I'm thee of little faith. But we have faith, many things, like flipping a light switch, and electricity lights up the lights. So just faith in a lot of things that we haven't seen yet, but we use in every day. Charles Fillmore also identified areas, well, actually his second wife did. Her name's Cora. Myrtle did make her transition, and Charles married Cora, and Cora identified areas in your body where these 12 powers are located. And they identified faith as the center of your head. Now, you could pat your head and bring on a little bit of faith there. Faith in things you have not seen yet. And one might have too little faith, and that might be identified as skeptical. Maybe you find yourself not trusting, ye of little faith. And too much faith, well, maybe that might be you're overly gullible. You believe anything anybody says. But if you stay centered in the true source, knowing that the Christ is within you, taking time to breathe, maybe taking time to walk through nature, or prayer and affirmation like Myrtle taught us, that faith can lead to manifesting your good. Do you believe that? You do? Amen? Did I get an amen? All right. Okay. Now, next one I want to talk about is really my second favorite. It's the ability to visualize, and that is imagination. Now, Charles Fillmore identified us as having these powers within, and he said we have the capability of using our imagination. It's the ability to visualize. This power, when used rightly, can envision our good. It might not feel like it is. You know, if you are focused on what's out here, maybe you're reading a lot of Facebook or whatever, you know, something that's saying, the world's going to crash. You can visualize and imagine your good. And if you have too little of this ability to imagine, you might appear passive. And too much might be excessive worry. Now, Cora identified imagination as right here between your eyes, just slightly above it, right here. And all of you probably know that Hindus and others will refer to this as their third eye, right? You probably have done that. This is your third eye. And you can close your eyes and imagine a situation as how you would want it. And then if you take that imagination, that closing your eyes, maybe you could do as people, Eastern cultures, they put a smudge there or a red dot. But this third eye can help you feel the Christ within you, because that's the source. It's not your will trying to bulldoze people. Okay, now another one I want to touch on is love. Love is actually power that Charles Fillmore identified. With the capacity of love, we can live in harmony with ourselves. You believe that? Mm-hmm. Yeah, this isn't necessarily talking about romantic love. It's love that I feel for this congregation that Wanda shares with us on Sundays when she talks. It's a love that's within inside you, and it's harmony. And Charles also identified it as desire. So what's pulling on your heart is love or a desire. Many of us desire a meaningful life, right? Yeah, okay. Mr. Fillmore said the power of love or desire, actually Cora said this, it's located in the back of your heart. So you've heard the saying, what's your heart's desire? Well, that is this capacity of love. Okay. So how would maybe not enough love show up in your life? What would be happening? Anybody got an idea? Maybe there's a lot of chaos around you. There's no harmony. You're wondering, what the heck's going on? And too much also could create a lot of chaos. But it might be you're afraid, you feel stuck because you're not listening to that desire within or following your heart's desire. We know that when we listen and follow to our heart's desire, our and other people's lives are enriched. Okay, now I want to talk about if you have faith and you have a vision and you have a desire, maybe the capacity of wisdom would be what you'd also want to use, right? So wisdom is also good judgment or discernment. How would maybe not using enough wisdom, not getting prayerful, just using your will to go? It might show up as pretty rash, that you're doing things too quickly. And maybe on the other side, it would be controlling, maybe cunning. But wisdom is located in the pit of our stomach. Doesn't that make sense? Like, have you ever made a decision to do something, but it doesn't set quite right? Like, you get little flutteries in your stomach and you think, this isn't right. Well, remember, you can always change the course. You don't have to stay in that. Because maybe you didn't get prayerful when you made that decision. Because remember, God's the source and always there for you. Okay. So now I'm going to talk about my favorite. Oh, y'all know me. Yes, it is zeal. I am very thankful for this wonderful identifying of these 12 powers. Zeal has really helped me get through life, why I'm using all the others. Zeal can be identified as passionate, enthusiastic. If you don't have enough, maybe you don't feel motivated. Too much, you might be frantic and a fanatic running around. But zeal has the capacity to bring forth your demonstration. So if you use this third eye to imagine, you use wisdom to know it's the right thing, you have faith that it'll appear, you also need a pulling force to pull that forward. And it's just like electricity. Electricity is powerful. And when you flip that switch, the light's not going to come on if there isn't electricity. So I see that as zeal. And zeal is located in the back of our neck. Have any of you ever felt or said you feel like energy's pulling you forward? It's that energy of zeal that will help us. And I wanted to share a practical Christianity point of view that I have witnessed, and that's here at Unity of Fort Wayne. When this ceiling was falling in, Di helped put a team together, and we, with zeal, but using wisdom, using imagination, visioning what we want, being smart and bringing in an architect. He was architect. And this is a beautiful space that was created. And that was a lot of us putting in energy with zeal because we wanted our place to be wonderful, which it is. Also, I see zeal through this group in mid-September when we have Johnny Appleseed. There's a lot of zeal there. Di's back there going, yay. Yeah, this is a commercial for that. Yeah. But seriously, I witnessed zeal coming from Unity of Fort Wayne, and I've been, over 50 years, I've attended other unities and have been members and on a board of another unity. But what I feel here is that zeal, and it's not done blindly. We do use faith and wisdom in all the 12 powers. And the people that get on the board and make great decisions, like your leadership, Bill, over the years, yeah. And our wonderful minister, like Ron did, there's just great things that happen here. But my point is, they don't really happen unless you use zeal along with these others. So I don't have time to go over all 12 powers, but you will, maybe if you're interested, you might want to attend a workshop I'm going to do on a Sunday after the service in November. It'll be a 90-minute workshop, and it'll be very interactive, and we will look at situations and how you can use these powers to help you. So that's another plug, but that's in November, so there'll be information coming out on that. So Lastly, I want to talk to you about another tool, and that is to talk about the spoken word. There's power in the words you speak. There's power in your thoughts that come out of your mouth. Think about that energy that comes forth. There is so much power in our words. Just as a gardener selects the best seeds to plant so pretty flowers grow or tomato plants grow, right, Tricia? You're quite the gardener. The words we say to ourselves about ourselves are powerful. Give it some thought when you start criticizing yourself, when you start saying, I'm not enough. Yeah, that's then what shows up. So, you're an energy field, and your words ignite that energy. And when you're using these powers in your imagination, also be aware of the words that you speak. So I'm going to close with this. Choose faith that you are made magnificent. I see you as magnificent. Visualize yourself as magnificent. Feel with passion the love your Creator has for you. Then let these feelings rise up. Rise up today. Rise up with you. And feel how powerful you are that you can make things happen. All right. Well, we are going to take 2 minutes here to give yourself a chance to think about how magnificent you are. So if you want to plant your feet and close your eyes or look down. Just going to lead us a little bit here, and then we'll have a little bit of silence. Knowing that the Christ is within us, knowing that this room is filled with love, wisdom, zeal, faith, we see ourselves as magnificent. We were made in the image and likeness of you, the divine, the source of all. And we know that we are spiritual, and yet we're having this human experience. And as we have this human experience, we take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Feeling that desire in our heart. We know that the energy in this room has come from many people that have walked through this room before us. The many ministers, the leadership, Unity Village, the writings, the Fillmores, Dr. Reverend Johnny Coleman, all the people who have influenced us to know, a deep understanding to know that the Christ is within us. Let us dwell on the magnificence that we are. Okay, my friends, it's time to come back here and carry that thought with you the rest of the day, maybe the rest of the week, maybe the rest of the month. Thank you for listening. Thank you, thank you, thank you.